Hey, Shalom Watkins, Kamak from GMS London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chakwadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video, and I think I'm going to call the title of this lesson, The Fashion of This World, or something around that. All right. And I was just thinking about something in it, and how this world is and how it promotes adultery and promiscuity in the earth, right? To have us focused on carnal lust and desires of the flesh. That's what Satan, Esau is part of his many tactics, to keep us in a carnal mindset, like the world in general, in a carnal mindset, obsessed with sex and partying and all these different types of things, right? And a lot of this, or some of this at least, is to do with their fashion industry, right? And my woman's always talking about how she can't find any decent clothes, like, because most outlets are selling some skimpy little things, there to show off as much flesh as possibly can, where it's very short or hardly any material to it, very provocative, very tight fitting, and my woman's got curves and shit, so she don't she would complain, like, and that's the issue as well, like, all these clothes are designed around skinny white women with no bodies. You know what I mean? So she finds it difficult to buy get clothes and find clothes that fit and don't show off too much, so to speak. So, but that's part of the design that Esau creates, because it's the fashion industry, right? Esau runs that, and he pushes what people are gonna wear out there in the world, man. And it's gotten so bad that even the children are wearing it. You see fucking children, 12-year-olds and shit, like, wearing battery riders and shit, like, and they're walking with their parents. The parents don't seem to fucking care, but it's disgusting, man. The fact that this world is so gone, right? That everybody go is dressing like it, man, and I say it promotes promiscuity and lust of the flesh, man, and all kinds of madness, right? And we're not meant to, well, women at least, men, you know, you don't really dress promiscuously, so to speak. That's more of a woman's thing, right? To allure men. But what was the point I was gonna make? Oh shit, it's gone. But I say fashion is more so aimed at you women, because you out there spending the money, whether you're broke or not. You still find places like Primark and stuff like that where they sell cheap clothes, and the fashion's all the same everywhere you go. And like I said, it just creates that atmosphere and that spirit in the earth, right? Because men can't help themselves, right? So they're burnt in their lust, going crazy, right? Want to be with every woman that they see, because every woman is advertising themselves every time they walk out the house, right? Because they don't know how to dress modestly, you know. So I wanted to get into that, right? I haven't got very long, so let me not keep on talking. Let's get some scriptures, and I'll start off here in Mark chapter 8, verse 38, right? It says, "Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation," right? This is an adulterous and sinful generation. And like I say, it's being fueled partly by the fashion of this world that Esau promotes, all this adultery and shit, right? It keeps us in the condition of sin. Because for the most part, men can't control their lust, and women can't control their lust, obviously, too. Right? So if we're all just listening to the flesh, how can we ever be spiritual? How can we ever get closer to Yahweh Shai? How can we ever focus on what's really important? Okay, which is His word, right? And keeping the laws and stuff like that. How can we focus if we're being, our attention is being drawn away by all this all this flesh that's being on show? And that's part of Esau's tactics, part of Esau's tools that he uses against us, right? He knows this, all right? And so he has our people, our women dressing like hoes everywhere. Like all of our women dressed like hoes, all of them. And it's, I say it's stretching out to all these different nations too. They're dressing like hoes too, and it's just like a sensory overload of fucking flesh, man. And the woman's not meant to be, it's not meant to parade around like that. She's meant to be well covered, right? Scripture speaks about a woman should dress modestly, right? It's 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. It says, and in like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Right? So he's sort of taking you way away from that. It's like, no, to hell with that. Show as much cleavage as you can. Show as much fucking ass as you can. Oh boy. Someone shared in one of my work chats, right? Some women on the train station somewhere, right? Twerking by the train driver, right? Right, asses out. Or at least one of them was asses out. The other one had a very short skirt. Her ass wasn't quite out, but the other one's ass was out. And guess, well, it was one Eve woman, or Jake woman, whatever, and one white girl, whether she was Jake or not, I don't know. But it's just like this place is crazy. This place is crazy. What the fuck were they doing that for? I don't know. But the world is full of this madness, right? And these types of women that dress up in these skimpy clothes and all that kind of shit. And yes, to men, to the eyes, it's like, yeah, ooh, ooh, man, like the look at that. But at the end of the day, man, it's off. These women are off, right? And these are the type of women that you should stay away from, right? That's the type of women you should stay away from, but you don't want to meet a woman like that. And that's what she'd be doing. No. She can't be going out and doing craziness like that. That's madness, right? But yeah, this is the culture, this is the fashion that the world that Esau's made, and that's what he pushes. And like I said, you got even children wearing that, so they got no hope moving forward as they go into adulthood, man. They're gonna end up fucking pregnant or having fucking called, man, a termination abortion or something, or raped or something, man, something crazy, because these women, they live loose, right? And all kind of men are hunting after them, man. Man, catch a case. Some men go crazy, right? End up deleting the woman and all that kind of stuff. It just leads to madness, and more and more craziness and evil and wickedness, man. Right? So there's reasons why the law exists. The Lord exists, man, to conduct ourselves by. Right? So things are more in orderly fashion, instead of all this craziness we got. So he's also taking you well away from modest apparel, right? He don't want you to dress modestly, right? He want women to show as much flesh as possibly physically can, and tell you not to be ashamed. Whether you're fat, wherever it is, man, just show it. Just show everything you got. You got fucking dimple holes in your fucking backside. Show it all off, man. All that fucking cellulite and shit. Whatever, man. It's weird. You know what I mean? It's fucking fucked up. But anyway, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness. Okay, being shamefaced means to be, the opposite of what you women are, which is prideful and boastful and brash. Like always wanting to be the center of attention type shit. Want people to see you, but you don't want just any man to approach you. You know what I mean? You're there to be looked at, but you don't want to be looked at by certain dudes. Like, you don't work that way, bro. You put yourself out there like that, everyone's gonna see. You might get that unwanted attention. Well, you will get that unwanted attention, and then you get mad, because you're attracting all kind of creeps and shit. Oh, that's your fault, man. And she shouldn't be there anyway. Anyway, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array. All right, so you're meant to be dressing modestly, but like I say, Esau don't want you to dress modestly. He wants you to dress provocatively, promiscuously. All right. Um, here we go. This 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 18 says, "For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure themselves through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness," right? And obviously, this is where all the adultery comes from. Like this wantonness, this desire to take or have something that's not theirs, regardless of if it belongs to somebody else, or because it looks good. Men will try and take that, and women want to be taken. And that's why they got a man or whatever, and they still go to the club dressing like how they dress. They want to be taken. They want to find the upgrade or whatever, or that night of excitement or whatever the case may be. They want to be taken, and that's why they're just as provocative as they do. Just waiting for the right guy, women tend to be, well, at times picky and fussy. Other times not so much, but that's the ever changing thing that is. All these standards, but they let anybody hit it ultimately. That don't even meet those standards. But that's another thing. Anyway, for when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness, those that will clean escape from them who live in error. While they promise them liberty, right? So women are being told that, since the women's liberation, that you're free to have sex with whoever you want and have as many relationships as you want and all this liberation, women's live. Right, but it's been nothing but destructive to the woman and to families and to men, all of us, children, everything. Right, it's been totally destructive, right? But you're still being told that, you should live free and do what you want to do as thou wilt. That's the ultimate motto at the end of the day. The underlying motto is live as thou wilt, live as thou wilt, which is a Luciferian doctrine. All right. So while they promise them liberty, they themselves are servants of corruption. For over whom a man is overcome, of the same he is brought into bondage. All right? You're not really helping yourselves, man. You're really destroying yourselves. All right? Now, let me grab this one more, and then I'm getting something else quickly. It's 1 John chapter 2, verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Right? And I say, you women are proud, you men are proud, right? And this is all through the lust of the flesh, right? That's all that's in this world, right? These men are not spiritual. These people are not spiritual. They're all carnal, right? And they just do what they do to fulfill their lusts, both men and women. All right, but that is not the correct spirit, man. Right, and the Lord ain't with that. All right, but let me get into this, right? Like I said, Esau, he runs the fashion world, right? He portrays or shapes and molds, which are good words, right? What society should look like, right? Based on his ideals, right? What he wants, right? And it's the MO of the wicked, who is these Edomites, these so-called white people, to promote wickedness, right? And to promote adultery and promiscuity and all these different things. So this is what the fashion, industry pumps out for you to consume, right? So here's the word fashion, right? And I couldn't find what I wanted initially, but I got it in the end. But we'll start here. Fashion, a popular or the latest style of clothing, hair, decoration, or behavior, right? Which he promotes through his fashion industries, the catwalk, and all these super fucking skinny models and shit, right? Which most of them are fucking ugly anyway, right? But they, they're getting abused and shit. You know what I mean? Just to walk down fucking catwalk wearing nothing, pretty much, or some wild ass shit, and that trickles down into the shops, the stores that you women can afford to go. Wherever your bracket is, you can afford to go and buy these things based on what goes on the catwalk, right? But a lot of it involves shit that be short, right? Shit that be short, shit that be cut low at the top, right? So your cleavage is out and shit, see-through shit, tight-looking shit, right? All the things that, like, in a man just sets all kinds of fucking carnal senses over sensory overload, right? To have them fucking salivating at the fucking mouth, right? Making you fucking targets, right? But you want to look good. You want to keep up with the fashion. You want to buy fucking clothes every time you go out. You know what I mean? You want to do all that. You want to be desirable. You want guys to fawn over you and shit. And so you do this, and not really think about the repercussions of your actions, right? Careless women, all right? Loose women. There was that TV program on fucking ITV or whatever it was. Probably still going. I say a popular or latest style clothing, hair, decoration, or behavior, right? A manner of doing something, a way of doing something, right? To make into a particular form, and Esau, he makes the society in a particular way, one that is based on carnality, right? Which again helps to promote all that adultery. He likes you in adultery. That's why he ain't got no laws against it, right? He likes you committing sin, right? And like I said, adultery leads to many different other types of things like murder and all kinds of things, right? It says use materials to produce something, right? But it's like, I couldn't find what I wanted originally, because I swore it said something else, but I was looking at the wrong scripture when I was thinking about it. It's not the word fashion that I was looking at, that I was supposed to be looking for, but conformed, which I'm going to get in a second, right? But here in the etymology of the word fashion, it says physical makeup or composition, form, shape, appearance. From Old French, facon, right? Phase, appearance, construction, pattern, design, thing, done, beauty, manner, characteristic, feature. Latin factitionem, making or doing or preparing, also a group of people acting together, right? So keep shape in mind, for instance, right? To shape something, right? To fashion something, to shape something, right? Esau has shaped this world the way it is. It's not by accident, right? Everything can be led directly back to him and how he's managed and ruled the earth, right? It's his fault that this place is so far gone in wickedness. It is nobody else's fault. Everyone's got their own categories to play in this, but Esau is the one promoting it and pushing it on the people, man, to get it to the point where it is today, like widespread, you know? Well, the thing I actually wanted was this scripture from Romans 12, verse 2, all right, where it speaks about, well, I'm going to read it. It says, and be not conformed to this world, right? We just spoke about not loving the world and the things that are in it, right? Because everything's tainted and corrupted in this world, right? And this world has to be destroyed because it's wicked, right? So don't fall in love with it. Don't invest in it. Don't, hold a soft spot in your heart for it, man, because this place is wicked and it needs to be destroyed, all right? It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? And this is what the scriptures do when you understand the scriptures and you understand what's going on in the earth and how far things have gone. You have to come to an agreement. This place needs to be destroyed. These people need to be purged, right? If they don't repent, they need to be purged, and so we need to start again. All right, and that's what the Lord's going to do when he returns. It says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Right? This world is not the will of God, right? In righteousness. Obviously, it has its purpose for the Lord to destroy this place. So, in a sense, it is part of his will. Part of his will is to destroy this place, but this is not the righteous way of living, right? This is not the ultimate will for us to live by, right? It's not righteous, not on the, it's not right hand. This is a left hand placement, right? And this place needs to be done away with, right? And so this is what we need to aspire towards, man. But Esau, he got you working on the other spectrum, at the other end of the spectrum, right? Going further and further into wickedness. Okay. So the word conformed, right? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pronounce that, so let me play that.
Strong's G 4964. Suschematizo.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to say that.
Suschematizo.
All right. And it says to conform oneself, i.e., one's mind character to another's pattern, fashion oneself according to, right? So this is where we get this idea of fashion. Esau is fashioning the people, conforming them into his way of thinking, his way of behaving, or the way he wants you to think and behave ultimately. Because it's not as if at least not in the open. In behind closed doors, he's having all kind of these elites having all these kind of orgies, but on the outward appearance, they don't behave and act the same way as the common folk do, right? But they feed you this way of living, right? The degenerate way of living, right? Which creates all these problems in society, right? So they're the ones doing that. That's why they control all these industries, right? So they can control what you consume, how you think, how you behave, right? Because everything about Esau is about creating his image upon earth, right? He's opposite to the Most High. He opposes the Most High and his way. Okay. This is to conform to fashion, a derivative of G4976 to fashion alike, like Esau, right? He's wicked, right? I.e. conform to the same pattern, figuratively to conform, fashion self according to. All right. So that's where that stems from. Okay. Let's see. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. This fashion, the way things are now, is going to be destroyed. Because like I say, it's wicked and it's off. Right? Everything that Esau is pushing out there is destructive. That's why he's got you dressing up the way you do. And this is why adultery is off the scale. Right? Sex is off the scale. Marriages is getting, actual marriages and is actually getting worse. People always fucking getting divorced and shit. Nothing is sacred anymore, right? Which is, I've got that here. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 verse 24 says, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, right? Because if you're not happy, you can just get up and leave and go with another man. No, it's adultery. You can't just do that. Oh, he's not, he's always at work. I'm not happy no more, or it's not exciting no more. I want to find another dude, or whatever the case. That you can't just go and do that, right? You better fucking make it work. You better find something to spice up the relationship. Whatever you got to do, you better figure it out, right? Because anything beyond that is adultery. You're gonna get with another dude. That's adultery. Your husband's not dead, right? For as long as your husband liveth, man, you're his wife. That's it, right? And you want to go jump on some other dude, bro? That's adultery, and you're gonna be judged. You're gonna be judged for that. So they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but even one slew another traitorously or greed him by adultery. Right? It just breeds more evil and wickedness, man. Right? Man, I get jealous and envious and all these different types of things. Like, people die. Men die. Women die. When a man gets too sick, right? Too jealous, or he's broken hearted, he's sad. They go crazy. Some men go crazy. We've seen it. And it's all about, the woman and that. But what did the woman do? No one ever talks about that part. What led him to do that? He wouldn't have just done that over anybody. There was something that happened. He was deeply into her, and she fucked him over. Like, she done something for a man to wild out like that. No one ever talks about that side, because no one really cares about adultery. In this world, adultery is not is not important to people. Having sex with multiple partners for a lifetime is just a normal thing in this world. Women can have all kind of fucking numbers, and we're not meant to care. But it's always going to leave a stain on the woman. Always is. As much as they don't want it to, it always will. That's why they don't like talking about how many people they slept with, because it leaves a stain, man. And men, they're like, yeah, it might. Oh damn, they might pop it, but it's like, ugh. I don't really want that as my wife. maybe we'll do a couple of years. It leaves a stain on you, man. Right? And they ain't going to be all that invested in you, straight up. But like I say, you got certain guys that are love strong, man. Right? And they are emotionally attached, attached to certain women, man. And when the woman steps out and do some amazing, crazy shit, the man go crazy, man. And you wonder why. But like I said, this is the adulterous generation, man. Like, this is what's going on. But, this is what Esau promotes. Verse 25. So that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury. disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls. It just becomes a cold world, man, and people just doing what the fuck they want to do, man, and they got no love in them whatsoever, man. They're just cold individuals, just not caring about other people. You know, fully selfish. You know. It says disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanliness. Right? And this is caused by, the root of this is idol worship, because like I said, you men are worshiping all kinds of different things, man, but not the Heavenly Father, right? For the worship of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. All right? You're under false illusions. Okay? Shit, I've run out of time, and how much talk left? All right, I've only got a couple, so let's get through it, right? So 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11 said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, we are not ignorant of his devices. Right? We know what Esau's games are, man. We know what he's doing, right? But you people will buy into it and that like nothing's wrong. Everything's wrong. All you have to do is take a look at the window and see, look at the people, and they're through. Everything is wrong. Oh, I'm just having a bit of fun. I'll just, how I like. All right, cool. Do all this stuff. When the missiles come, when judgment comes, innit? Say your piece then, innit? Right? You don't want to avoid that. That's up to you. But yeah, but Satan's actively working, man. And like I said, this is part of the, devices that he uses against the people, man. This fashion and causing adultery and promiscuity. All right, attacking your carnal side, right? It's Job 9 verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right. So the earth is in the hand of the wicked. So they're gonna do these things, right? You so-called white people are in charge of all these industries, in charge of the media we consume, the movies, the music, and all these things, and they're all pushing adultery. Right. That's all part of the fashion too. Right, Esau's using these different avenues to mold the society as he wants it. Right, he makes it difficult for you to try do good. That's why a woman says she finds it difficult to find decent clothes. He makes it difficult. That you really got to search for something that if you want it that bad, you really have to search hard for it, man. You want to try and live more righteously. You got real hard, man, and you're probably paying more for it. And you might not have the money to. So it's like, shit, man. This is Proverbs 29:16. We'll close out with this. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, right? And that's all that's been going on. And transgression has been increasing since these so-called white people have been in power. Since the Edomites have been in power, man. Right? And he pushes it more and more every year. It gets worse every year. Right? As he gets closer towards his NWO, he's pushing more and more wickedness. Right? He wants complete social a complete social implosion, so to speak, chaos and destruction, right? So that he can take advantage of, man. It says, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, but the righteous shall see their fall. And that's what we desire to see. We want to see a change in this place, man. And it ain't going to come through these, different protests and all these different things. No, you ain't going to change shit. But Yahweh Shai, when he comes with the angels, he got the power to change everything, man. And he ain't going to ask Esau of nothing. He ain't going to ask him to do this and do that and, to live better, be righteous. He ain't going to ask him shit. You're going to put a sword to his fucking neck, man, and put him in chains. That's it. No talking has to be done. Right? Yahweh Shai is going to come and take this place from him. And he's going to establish his rule. That's it. And just like that, things are going to be changed, man. You people are going to be under orders, under outlaw. Right? So all this stuff that exists right now, all the fucking skimpy clothes and that kind of shit, that's going to go. You ain't going to see none of that again ever. Right? You ain't going to dress modestly. Okay? So, that's it on the video. So I gotta go. So, Lord willing, this was Elephaim, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. Until next time, I say shalom.